All right, guys, welcome back to the Sooner Saloon. I'm here with Emerson Campbell. My brother Taylor Reed can't make it tonight. A lot's been going on, Emerson. Last time we shot, Lincoln Riley was out the door, but we were not aware of Grinch going with them as well as the remaining staff. As we were talking, we've had so many guys already decommit, and we knew this was going to happen. But
Yeah.
it's just insane. In my entire lifetime, I've never felt OU football at a low like it is right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a gut punch. Honestly, it really is. And we tried to warn people it's going to be bad and it's only going to get worse. Regardless of who Oklahoma hires, they're going to have to hit the recruiting trail. And luckily, because we are Oklahoma and it is so prestigious, they're going to be able to hang on to some recruits. I do believe. Some. Like a couple, like a handful of recruits that are still really good and really talented, and you can still build a class around. They will stay. With that being said, yeah, we are going to lose a lot of talent. And with Oklahoma being as good as they were in the recruiting trail, that means there's going to be classes. I mean, obviously USC's ranking is going to skyrocket. But there's a lot of kids from the South that are going to decommit, and who do you think is going to pick them up? Alabama,
Obviously,
Georgia, Ohio State, all of those guys.
Malachi Nelson already committed to USC. A bunch of these guys.
We're recording this at a quarter till 11 Central Time on Tuesday night, folks. So this is where we're at right now, by the way. Timestamp it. Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
Yeah, man. I mean, that 2023 class was looking real special, and all that's down the drain, man. Malachi Nelson gone, number 2 quarterback in the nation, at USC now. Trayon Webb, the Florida man, 4-star guy. I could see him going to Miami. That's where it looks like he's going to be going. But
same with Mekhi Lemon.
Yeah.
Or Brandon Ennis.
Right.
He's from Florida as well. So, and I saw when he decommitted, he had like a orange and a green heart. So, take that for what you will.
2022 class. Emerson, we were just talking about him, Derek Moore. He's the number 23 ranked guy in the ESPN 300. Was going to be an absolute monster DN for Oklahoma. He's gone. Demetrius Hunter, another top 300 guy on the D line. Or no, he's an offensive lineman.
He was center. He's the number one center in the country. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone.
Gone.
Kobe McKenzie, a dog at linebacker from Lubbock, Texas. Gone. Kissing goodbye.
From Lubbock, Texas. That's Texas Tech's backyard, and he's been committed to the Sooners for over almost 3 years now, and he's gone. Top 100 recruit. Yeah. Rough. It's rough. Derek Moore, he had so much potential. Oh my goodness. I mean, he still does, obviously. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a stud, but
it doesn't matter anymore.
It's just that's just one of the hits that and now you start. I mean, now it really sinks in, and you take it for granted. Almost, you realize you've taken it for granted as an Oklahoma fan, and it's like, man, we were getting some really good recruits, and now we are going to plummet in the rankings.
Exactly, and there's one guy in mind for head coach. There's one guy, and I don't want anybody else, and that's Brent Venables. Obviously, he's got a history at Oklahoma. Former Oklahoma players like Tony Jefferson are tweeting out, get this guy, make it happen. OU football needs it. He's such a mastermind defensively. He's won a national championship at Oklahoma. He's got 2 national championships at Clemson. They're always ranked in the top 10 defensively. If not top 10, they're in the top 20. The guy has a good resume. And seriously, if it's not Brent Venables, it's bust for me. I don't want anybody else because I just don't see these other head coaches being ready for a spot at Oklahoma. And it has to be defense. Got to go defense. You got to get more physical.
Excuse me. I agree. Brent Venables looks like the top candidate. Excuse me. Especially if you look at his resume. I mean, yeah, he's got the lineage with Oklahoma. He hasn't played in the SEC, but he's produced defenses that have embarrassed the best teams in the SEC on multiple occasions.
Exactly.
So he obviously understands winning culture. He understands what that looks like. And he understands the University of Oklahoma and what the expectations are and what the history of the place is. And he understands how big of a job it can be when treated as such. And I think if Brent Venables can get a strong offensive coordinator hired, I've heard a lot about, the guy from Ole Miss. I think his name's like Levy or something. I can't remember. I've heard a lot about his name being thrown out there. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of good offensive coordinators out there that would love to come to Oklahoma. So if that can all come together, they can get off the ground and running sooner rather than later, pun intended.
Yeah, and maybe even go for a Gary Patterson for a defensive coordinator too. It's kind of an under the radar, but if you get Venables and you get Gary Patterson, I think it would be nice. I think it'd be a good combination. That's just something that I thought about.
It would be interesting. I wonder if Gary Patterson is just ready to retire, or if he would be willing to kind of take like the backup role defensive guy that's like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What are you thinking, Brent?
Yeah.
Probably on a first name basis at that point, and then they just dial up in a pretty amazing scheme together. That would be something to behold. But yeah, we'll wait and see. It's all still hearsay. I haven't seen anything official come out yet on Twitter or anything. But anyway.
Yeah, it's crazy right now, and we even got some guys hitting the transfer portal. Obviously Spencer Rattler was expected to go. He's gone. Jaden Hazelwood, transfer portal.
Gone.
As well as Austin Stogner, as well as Theo Weiss, and expect it to grow. There's even been talks about Marvin Mims saying, I'm considering.
Well, and Marvin Mims, he's an incredibly intelligent young man. And he's obviously studying an engineering degree, and he had an offer from Stanford, and he was about ready to go to Stanford until Oklahoma stepped in. So, for someone like him, you have to understand like he's making more than just decisions about football as far as his education and the prestige he wants to have with that, because obviously he has the capabilities for it, but. A lot. Jaden Hazelwood, obviously, and you always kind of wondered. Not to disparage Jaden Hazelwood, I love him. And he, I'm not talking down on any of these kids that are deciding to decommit or hit the transfer portal. Obviously, everyone is there for themselves in the end, and they have to do what's best for themselves, especially in the players' respects. But. These
are all
sucks as an
big
Oklahoma
time
fan, and it's not something we're used to.
Hey, these are all big name guys on this OU roster. But
Yeah.
if you look at this list, what did
Contributors.
any one of them really do this past season? Jaden Hazelwood had a hat trick against Texas Tech. It's Texas Tech, okay? Spencer Rattler didn't live up to the expectation. This year kind of had some Heisman hype. Was expected to be the number one.
How much of that
draft
is
pick.
on Lincoln Riley, though? I mean,
His head wasn't in it, I don't think. And you can kind of tell.
Yeah.
Just wasn't – the play calling just wasn't quite there. And it seemed like it was not till, week
For the whole
4 or
offense.
5 until we started to pound the football first. And then, we learned our offensive line wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
even with Stogner, man, such high expectation, 5-star guy, has so much length. He didn't really come on this season. He had a touchdown catch against Oklahoma State and had maybe 3 touchdown catches all season long. And then Theo Weiss, been injured all season. And that's pretty much that. So,
Hold
I don't
on.
know,
Did you
man.
see OU compliance tweet out the eyes and the 100 emoji? That's interesting.
I did not.
Sorry. Sorry.
Dude, I'm telling you though, if it's not Venables, I don't want him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me being a spoiled Oklahoma fan, but that just goes to show how much of an attribute Brent Venables would be as in getting him. So
Yeah. And I want to say, people, okay, before you sound the alarms, Calvin Thibodeau is still out there on the recruiting trail for Oklahoma. He just got done visiting a 2023 recruit, from what I can tell on Twitter. And Calvin Thibodeau is one of the people solely responsible for the success that we've had on the defensive side of the ball. And okay, he was just with big CD. Oh, I can't remember his name. Cedric Roberts. That's right. So he's out there. We still have some guys. I mean, obviously, Cale Gundy. He's out there. He's hitting the recruiting trail. He's going to stick around. He's an Oklahoma guy. Joe John Finley, DeMarco Murray. We're going to be able to hold on to some guys, right? Like Gabriel Brownlow Dindy has openly said he's not going to decommit until, he sees who Oklahoma hires and how he feels about it, So we still have him in the bag for now. You have guys like, there's a running back that said he was sticking with DeMarco Murray, which is obviously huge,
more. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that post. So
I've seen Jacob Sexton and Jake Taylor, 2 4-star offensive linemen in the 2022 class, say that they're sticking with Oklahoma and they're not going anywhere. So, I mean, worst case scenario, we're finding out who the leaders of our recruiting class are going to be right now and who's sticking through it thick and thin and who's committed to the university and the team.
Bob Stoops also said it best, and this is my opinion. Lincoln Riley walked into a perfect storm, with Bob Stoops just saying, "Hey, this thing's yours. Here's the keys to this Corvette." And he was set up. He had a team ready to win, to say the least. And he did. He has an impressive track record, but it just goes to show whoever we hire for this next head coaching spot, they're going to be in a relatively good spot to win.
Yeah.
If you would agree.
Yes. And I would agree. And no matter what, Oklahoma, just because of their geography, yeah, they're not on a coast, whatever. They still have a direct line to Texas every year. So they're going to be able to get recruits. And it's not that, and I mean, it's been proven time and time and again that it's not that hard as the University of Oklahoma to reach out into St. Louis and get who you want to get, and reach into Kansas City area and get who you want to get, and reach into Denver and get who you want to get. And, so there are avenues for Oklahoma to obviously be a recruiting bed and get plenty of talent to win championships. You just have to have a good enough coach that's willing to, and a lot of people say about like Brent Venables is he's kind of old or whatever, but the
50.
social media and recruiting departments at Oklahoma have already been established. I mean, Annie Hansen is still there as like the head of like recruiting media or whatever it is. She does a lot of work with recruits and like their social medias and all that, and that's something that matters, and that's how you get kids in. So if we can like maintain those departments and maintain their efficacy, and a lot of the people that were there under Lincoln, if they stay along, then who's to say that the recruiting can't pick back up to where it was when Lincoln left in a couple years, especially if they win games in the SEC. So,
Yeah,
and there's coaches that are there that care.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, and it's just hard to wrap your mind around how fast this all took place.
I don't know how Texas does it every 3 years.
Yeah,
it's gotta be exhausting.
The difference is they run their guys out of town.
Yeah.
I guess our guys just volunteer. Hey, we're tired of winning. Let's go rebuild somebody else's team.
Yeah. I need a challenge when all you've done is, lose 2 games a year and get embarrassed on the national stage, all except once. But
money talks, though. I guess in that contract, I think it was worth $110 million. USC is purchasing Lincoln Riley's homes in Norman, paying
allegedly.
for his home. Yeah, paying for his home in Cali, which is about $6 million, and has full access to a private jet with unlimited use. How freaking ridiculous is that?
What are you gonna do, man?
That's just what I heard. I'm not saying that's confirmed. That's just what I heard.
Yeah, allegedly. That's all alleged, of course. But I mean, if California was its own country, it would be the 8th largest economy in the world. And there's just nothing you can do about it as the University of Oklahoma until it all goes underwater, so. But, anyway, they'll, that's just something that we don't have. But,
right.
There, and the thing with LA as well, if you think about it, even if Lincoln Riley doesn't have success for a while, they're not going to care. Because there's so many other things to keep the people of LA distracted that Lincoln Riley's not going to have the pressure to succeed every year because he won't need to, because they have the Chargers and the oh my God. They have the Chargers and the Lakers and the Rams and the Clippers and the Kings in hockey and the Dodgers and everything. So, anyway. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much what I got, Emerson.
Yeah.
We'll follow along with how everything's going, though. It's been crazy, been complete chaos. But go ahead, Emerson.
Well, I was just going to say, yeah, I think Brent Venables would be a great hire. I don't think Josh Heupel is probably going to be an option. I saw a statement from him today saying that he's looking forward to his time in Tennessee, and he really believes in what they're building there, and he should. So, anyone that was holding on for Josh Heupel is probably not going to happen, but Brent Venables is the popular name right now, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all we got.
Well, with that being said, all you Oklahoma Sooners fans, we'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribe. But from Sooner Saloon, Boomer Sooner, and
follow us on
adios.
Twitter